Before we jump in and start building, entering, and maintaining an Access database, we need to talk a little about concepts and terminology. The most common misconception about Access is that it replaces Excel, which is completely untrue. They're very different. You'll hear the word database used everywhere in both Excel and Access. It's a really loose term. Excel is usually referred to as a spreadsheet, where Access is a relational database. Both are used to store information, but Excel stores that information both vertically and horizontally. Access only stores the information vertically. Excel is mainly used for laundry lists of information, like inventory lists and sales. And although it can be organized in hundreds of sheets, none of the information is really related to the other. In Access, everything has some kind of relation. If I own a car company, I'm going to be dealing with more than just inventory and sales. Now I have to deal with who bought the car, who sold it, what manufacturer did it come from, where was it shipped, and what mechanic worked on it last. All this information can come from separate tables, but is still related. The best Excel can do with relationships is linking. So Excel is great for simple lists with complex calculations and formulas, and Access is great for storing the large amounts of data that is interrelated or dependent. It's great to know both. Now, Access has some terms that differ from Excel, such as a field. A field is a single piece of categorizing information organized in columns. Excel calls them headings. An example would be first name, last name, and so forth. A record is a collection of fields pertaining to one person or entry, like Bob Peterson from Los Angeles, California. A table is a group of records stored in rows and columns. So I could have a customers table with customer information and an employee table with employee information. A database in Access refers to a collection of 7 objects or tools. So not just tables, but queries, forms, reports, macros, modules, and pages. The database has a size limit of 2 gigabytes. That's for all objects, not 2 gigs for each. The last concept I want to talk about is the most important: the database roadmap. The database roadmap is how all these tools and objects are connected, and the most important part of that is tables. Now, I mentioned before that a table is used to store information. Think of them as a digital filing cabinet. If you want to keep it, store it in a table. I can have as many tables as I want, and it's better to have several smaller tables than one giant massive list. Queries are sometimes referred to as filters, but that's like saying a Ferrari is just a car. A query is used to select or display information in any way I can possibly dream of. I can connect it to one table or an infinite number of tables. Either way, a query takes the information from a table and gives it to me. Whether I make a change to the table or the query doesn't matter, but the information is always kept in the table. The query never stores any information. Forms are used to enter data into a table. Everyone in this world has to fill out a form. Go to the DMV, the doctor's office, or buy something off the internet, you have to fill out your personal information. A form can be connected to either a query or a table. It cannot be connected to multiple tables unless they are first connected to a query. So if I want customer, employee, and product information, all from different tables, pass them through a query and into the form. A form can be used for data entry, can be set to read only, or both. Reports are used to view and print data. I might want the information to look prettier than just a bunch of rows and columns. Reports can be designed any way you want. Like forms, they can be connected to a query or a table and are read-only. Users cannot interact with the report. It's like print preview in Word or Excel. These 4 are the main objects in Access. There are 3 others that are more advanced objects. Pages are like a form and report together. Access 2007 has discontinued the creation of pages and now uses SharePoint. However, if you're working on an older database that still has pages created, they can be modified in Access 2007, just not created. Macros are used for automation. You can create basic functionality for buttons or trigger them based on conditions. So an example would be click a button and print a specific invoice report. Modules are like macros, only with greater flexibility and power. They open the VBA editor and allow you to redefine or even create your own objects. So if I want to integrate AutoCAD into Access, I just need a module that allows that. So now, hopefully, you have a better understanding of how Access is set up, how it phrases some of its terminology, and how Excel is still and always will be a great addition to Access.